Irish rap group Kneecap has been banned from entering Canada. The hip-hop trio had been set to play shows next month in both Toronto and Vancouver. Federal government says that it stems from their open endorsement of terrorist organizations. But the band says that the allegations that have been made are not true. Ali Chiasson has that story.
Kneecap, a controversial hip-hop group from Northern Ireland, was set to play 4 shows in Canada next month, but the Canadian government has pulled the plug.
I am announcing that effective immediately, the members of Kneecap have been deemed ineligible to enter Canada. Glorifying terrorist organizations and displaying hate symbols that directly target the Jewish community are not protected forms of expression and will not be tolerated by our government.
The Parliamentary Secretary of Combating Crime is referring to this moment from a Kneecap show in November 2024, where band member Mohara allegedly displays a Hezbollah flag, something he says is being taken out of context, and the band maintains that it condemns violence. But he faces terrorism charges for it, and that, as this immigration lawyer explains, is enough to be barred entry.
You don't need a conviction, in fact. So, as I understand, they're currently being charged with terrorism in the UK, which would provide sufficient grounds. The Government of Canada does have a list of designated terrorist organizations. It does happen that Hezbollah happens to be one of them.
Kneecap is threatening legal action against the Canadian government.
It's unusual, but it's not outside of the law. They do have this power.
This music writer agrees it's unusual, certainly in the art space.
What typically happens is that if those artists are booked to play anywhere in the world, there will be protests against that show, against the promoter or the venue, and that show will get shut down. And it is something that is managed within communities, but the state getting involved to ban an artist from the country, that is something that I am not familiar with precedent for that.
The Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs applauds the move, posting, quote, "Incitement, hate, and radicalization have no place in this country, not on our airwaves, not on campus, and not on stage." Kneecap was set to play 2 shows in Toronto and 2 in Vancouver. Both have been cancelled as of today. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
Okay, we want to talk more about this with Rudolf Kischer. He is going to talk us through this ban. He's partnered with MKS Immigration Lawyers. Thanks so much for coming into studio.
Thanks very much for having me.
So, I can't think of another time where an artist has been banned like this. Can you think of any similar situations?
You can't think one because it's never happened.
Right.
Okay. This is totally unprecedented. Usually artists are banned perhaps for criminal records. Doesn't seem like what's happened here, although one of the band members, Liam, has been charged in the UK. He hasn't been convicted. And the government hasn't come out and said that's why they're denying the ban entry. It seems like they've made a declaration that they're not allowing the ban in. There's a special section of the Act, Section 21 of the Act, that allows the minister to make a public declaration for public policy reasons to ban people from coming in. It's been used 3 times, twice against the Ukrainian government during the revolution in 2014 and 2015, and then the other time most recently against the Iranian government in 2023. So it's never been used against an artist. It's only been used against governments that have been involved in human rights violations. So this is unprecedented. If this is what's happened, I haven't seen the paperwork yet. It's obviously just been announced, and we haven't seen the declaration if that's what happened.
I take it you find this an extraordinary measure.
Yeah, it's unprecedented, really, and I think it opens up an avenue for the government to be more involved in who comes in and out of the country. There are plenty of provisions in the Immigration Act to deny people that have criminal records or are members of terrorist groups, etc. It's typically not used for public policy reasons just because someone doesn't like somebody else's opinion. Yeah.
That leads me to my next question. Do you have concerns, given you're an immigration lawyer, you handle these kinds of cases, do you have concerns that this is somehow being misused?
I think it's opening, it's a new precedent, so I don't know how it's going to, before it's only been used against governments that were involved in serious human rights violations. So this is unprecedented. So when will it be used next time? For example, we had a recent singer coming up from the U.S., Sean Feucht, who, there was a lot of controversy about him coming in. Will that be used for somebody like him next time to deny him entry? Is it possible? I mean, the allegations against Liam in this case are They're terrorism-related charges. They're very serious. So I can understand how the government wouldn't want this person in. There are provisions. If the government believes you've committed an act overseas that's a crime in Canada, then you could be denied entry. Why they didn't use that, I think it's they're trying perhaps to score political points because they've just introduced a new act, those 4 related hate crime offenses, right, that Sean Fraser recently introduced.
I just want to pick up on what you said. There can be a charge, but not a finding of guilty in another country. But Canada could say, based on the fact that there's a charge alone, that could be reason enough.
It's not the charge, but it's a bit based on the facts that they've got reasonable grounds to believe that the person committed a crime, or not that he was convicted, but he actually committed the crime. And so in this case with Liam, there is lots of video of what he did and what he said. So they could take a look at that and said, well, that looks like a hate crime to us. You did it in the UK, it's not illegal there and it's not legal here, and you can't come in. And they could have barred that one member and perhaps the other 2 members too for what they were doing on stage. Right?
And what does that one member, Liam? I mean, we've heard the band is planning to sue the Canadian government or fight back legally. Do they have any kind of legal case?
They might. Under this current provision, they have 60 days to file an appeal to ask that the amount of time, because they're allowed to be, the Act allows them to be barred up for 3 years, so they could ask that it be suspended or be shortened, so they perhaps could appeal it. Yeah.
Rudolf Kischer, thank you so much.
Okay.
That was really enlightening. Appreciate you coming into the studio. That's Rudolf Kischer, partner at MKS Immigration Lawyers.